Here we go then. Looking forward to this.
Drastic and dangerous. Controversial plans to cut Winchester's firefighters are hotly debated.
Good pictures, good line, and a good grab coming up.
Simple maths is less money, less firefighters, more danger.
Winchester's new graduates celebrate success. Among them, a special guest.
I'm very honoured, and I was quite surprised, I have to say, to receive it. So to be with all the sort of graduates today has been fabulous.
And it's all smiles for Eastleigh's new manager.
I'm a happy one. I'm a happy guy. I'll be even more happier to get my job.
I mean, that's a really good start. What I like, there are two things here. Having Sally is very important because obviously she's a big local name. And when you start doing searches of her name on Google and things like that, then this will come up. This is keywords, so it's important to get her in. Mentions of Alan Titchmarsh as well. And then I'm really happy with the sport department. You've got the Eastleigh manager. I've been going on about it for 3 weeks. This is good journalism. I'm going to shrink this because I think the quality is so bad you're not going to be able to appreciate it, and nor will I. So we'll just have it on this. Okay, there we go.
Good evening. Fewer firefighters means more danger. That's the message from Hampshire's Fire Brigade Union in response to a plan to cut the number of fire crews in Winchester. They're concerned about new proposals from the Hampshire Fire and Rescue Service, who held their first meeting last week to outline plans changing the way they tackle emergencies in the county. Our reporter Brooke Perriam has the details.
It's a really good opening. Well read, Ross. And it's clear, it's in stages, there are 3 parts to it. I know what this story is about. It's good, hard-hitting news at the top of a bulletin.
Hampshire's Fire and Rescue Service has been fighting fires for years. Now they are fighting cuts coming their way. In light of the slashes to its budget, the authority has put together a number of proposals to save money, including cuts to on-call firefighters in Winchester.
It's a really good range of pictures to start with here, Brooke, and I like the fact that you've obviously gone through the archives and you've got some decent stuff. Where you got the other stuff from, I don't know whether it's from the Fire Brigade itself or not. That's good. What I would say, so just let them run a little bit longer, because at the moment it's like, here's a bit, here's another bit, and you've got all these great pictures, but when you get them all together and they're so short, it looks like, here's a load of great pictures I've got and I'm going to cobble them all together. So just let it breathe a little bit more, but these are really good pictures.
The service has been drawing up these suggestions for 18 months, but the union says what they are suggesting is simply not safe.
Got great concerns over the proposals. Whilst we've been...
Very simple there. I mean, this is really sophisticated technique, Brooke, and I think you've shown this throughout your career. You've got 2 different shots for your setups. You've got the wide, and then you've got the reverse, and then you go to this. But also, you've just laid it underneath, as we talked about a couple of weeks ago, so you hear him before you cut to him. It's simple, but it's sophisticated editing.
Involved in the process up to now, we've come to a point where we differ immensely on what we believe the answer to be. It's simple maths. It's less money, less firefighters, more danger.
In the face...
And remember, on these pictures, we've talked about it, you have to have natural sound going underneath. They shouldn't be mute pictures. If these pictures have come to you from the Fire Brigade with no pictures on, then you are within your rights to put some natural sound underneath it. You're not deceiving anything, you're just making the flavour of the piece much better.
£12 million gap in government funding. The service has put forward recommendations such as reducing the number of firefighters, increasing the emergency response time, and replacing fire engines with smaller response vehicles.
I mean, these are good facts to have up there. I just wonder whether we could be a bit more sophisticated with our graphics. I appreciate that is not always easy, but that is an issue.
The proposals are only at consultation stage and public opinion is crucial, Fire Chiefs say, highlighting that should they go through, the authorities' priorities remain the same.
Overall numbers of firefighters will reduce because we've got financial savings to make. We know we can do that safely. We know that we can do that efficiently. These changes aren't about cuts. They're about changing and adapting to our new financial envelope. We have a priority. First of all is making sure our firefighters are safe, make sure the community is safe, and make sure we fit our financial envelope in that order.
The consultations continue until early next year, when the future of Hampshire Fire and Rescue could be decided. Until then, the service is urging members of the public to put their thoughts across in meetings happening throughout the next few months. Brooke Perriam, Winchester News Online, Eastleigh.
This is a really grown-up package. You have produced it more or less every time you have reported, Brooke, and it is very, very impressive. I think, though, on this, we need to hear from the public, because at that meeting there were people who were clearly concerned about it, and I think to get an impression of what the people of Eastleigh do think is important at this early stage, and then I think we'll have a bit more of a rounded package, but technically very, very good.
The University of Winchester is welcoming back its former students this week for a series of graduation ceremonies. There were tears and laughter for what's been an emotional event. Laura Harding was there.
Here in the historic Winchester Cathedral, celebrations are well underway this week as almost 2,000 students are graduating from the city's university.
Just think where you're doing that piece to camera and what the shot was before. Everyone pouring out of the doors behind you, or if it was the doors further along, those, but I sense this is the central door, and then you've cut to you there. Bit clunky.
It's Alan Titchmarsh, the new Chancellor's first graduation. As well as students, there are 6 notable figures who will be receiving honorary doctorates from the university.
As the main presenter of BBC One South today, Sally Taylor has reported on the big news story of the South for nearly 3 decades.
I'm very honoured, and I was quite surprised, I have to say, to receive it. So to be with all the sort of graduates today has been fabulous. I can, in some way, help others.
Shame about that graphic that it's just bled over.
Important part of it. It's not about me benefiting my career. I think it's about me helping others and perhaps to achieve what I've managed to achieve, which would make me very happy.
With degrees in hand and off into the real world of employment, perhaps we'll see some of our graduates on the television soon. Laura Harding, Winchester News Online.
Which is good to see some of our alumni there, our reprobates who've finally made it. What I would say is what you should have known is that Sally actually came to open our studio, and we've got pictures of her in the studio and what she said afterwards. I think it would be good to put those pictures in and to remind her of that. Whether you asked her a question about that or not, I don't know, but important to do so. So I also think that even though we are broadcasting here, it may be that the fact that Sally was getting the honorary doctorate or whatever she got was actually more important than some of our graduates who were graduating, even though there were a few pictures of them. And that definitely, even if it didn't lead your package, should definitely be in the link going into the package.
And we'll return to our Winchester graduates later in the programme with our features team, where they'll be covering all the excitements and enjoyments of the event in much greater detail.
See, that's much better. You see, that's important. You know, that's good back ref. Anno, well done.
The news. A suspected drug den in Romsey has been closed following a raid by police. They say that drug use and antisocial behaviour had been reported at the property. Our reporter, Beth Tremelin, has the story.
Behind me is the alleged drug den, which has been...
Okay, I think I said probably week 1 or week 2, please don't have her behind me. Walk near it or something and say this is the job rather than we can see what is behind you. It's just a clunky way of doing things.
Havoc for the surrounding neighbours. Drug use and antisocial behaviour has been reported on this property. A court order has been issued to shut down the property, meaning no one can enter for the next 3 months or face prosecution.
The locals were shocked, explaining that the neighbourhood is usually a quiet one with lots of families living there.
The words there, just the neighbours explaining. We don't try and make it more conversational. So actually, what this is saying, the neighbours told me it was very unusual, something like that. Just make it a bit more conversational.
Jamelling, Winchester News Online.
And you've done a piece to camera, and you've got one shot of the building. That's not enough for a package, really. Where are you talking to the neighbours? What do they have to say about it? And even if you're just shooting the outside of a house, let's have more than one shot and we can cover your earlier piece to camera. So it's a bit limited, this. If it's your first effort, then okay. But we've got to shoot lots and lots of different pictures of what is a very boring building, but shoot it to death rather than just the one shot and one piece to camera. It's not a package.
Hundreds of women in Hampshire are still smoking during pregnancy, despite it being extremely harmful for their babies.
That sounds like you naughty people. That's despite it being really harmful. I think you need to be more authoritative by saying, despite doctors saying X number of women are still smoking or are affecting they could be affecting the birth of their child, X, Y, Z. I think you need to bring in something medical there. Otherwise, you sound a little bit like the Labour government used to, and it was a bit of a nanny state there.
New figures reveal that Southampton and Portsmouth are particularly bad. Amy Catlin crunches the numbers.
Out of 864 pregnancies in Southampton, 15% of women were smokers. In Portsmouth, 14% of women smoked. The cities were well above the national average of 11%. Nationally, about 70,000 women smoked during pregnancy. Smoking during pregnancy is believed to cause more than 2,000 premature births, 5,000 miscarriages, and 300 stillbirths each year in the UK. Campaigners such as Smoking Pregnancy Challenge Group want this figure cut by more than half by 2020.
In other news, the number of people...
So, yeah, we've got a difficulty there. We've got a graphics package. It's interesting. It's a very interesting story. Where it falls down, of course, is it's got no pictures. We haven't got any pregnant mums. And the difficulty is you need to go to a maternity hospital and see mums standing outside smoking. Now, therefore, you've got a difficulty with identification and actually getting on the hospital property. So these are some of the difficulties that you have got, that you have probably just encountered because you cannot go and get those pictures. But you will see that actually what you've just done in a minute is graphically beautiful, but actually very picture shy. And that really affects the validity of the story. And it becomes a bit of a print story that you've just tried to do something with, albeit you've made a pretty fair effort.
Executed for using their phones while driving has halved in the last 5 years. But research has shown that the number of people still using their phones behind the wheel has stayed the same.
You see, when you get this illustrates your story and you can shoot it. And it just, what you don't need to put on here is WINOL archive footage. You're not, I know you're being true to the law, but you are not, it is so inconsequential whether that is archive or not. Actually, it just shows you to be a bit lazy without going out to shoot some more shots, which you could be done in the car park with somebody's car with a phone in about 5 minutes.
The RAC warns that with fewer police patrolling the roads, it's getting harder to catch those that break the law. They say mobile phone use contributed to nearly 500 road accidents in the UK last year, with motorists using their phones to talk, text and browse the internet. The RAC say that because of budget cuts, the government needs to look at new ways to enforce the law and raise awareness. Portsmouth City Council's decision to close its doors on refugees has left some people disappointed. The council recently decided to write to the Home Secretary asking to be taken off the list of cities for asylum seekers. The British Red Cross are unhappy with the decision.
I would just say the British Red Cross is unhappy. Sorry to be pedantic, but it is a body, one body. This is a good news wrap, and thank goodness we have finally got a news wrap in here.
Disappointed by the motion, and we're even more disappointed that the motion was passed because we believe it was made for local reasons, along local political lines. And,
just think of his eye line here. I mean, the sound is pretty poor because it's very echoey, and he's looking sort of up there. Why is he looking up there? You should have the camera on the same eye line so that he is looking along that line rather than looking up, because presumably you're standing up and he's sitting down, unless you're very tall. So you need to bring his eye line down to a level like this rather than shooting up here. But again, the sound, you're in a controlled environment. I don't understand why the sound is so echoey.
We hoped that the council would use its experience and expertise to help lead in concert with other organisations like the Red Cross.
Portsmouth City Council say working on plans to help refugees in other ways.
And it would be nice to hear from them or have a statement in some way, rather than a baccano, although that balances out the story.
Southampton MP John Denham has been speaking at the University of Winchester this afternoon. He's been talking at a conference about the possibility of devolution for the south of England. You can see a full report on WINOL169.co.uk.
Good, like it. This is, we're getting round the news. This feels like a news service.
In the number of reports of hate crime has been revealed this week, sparking a fresh campaign from police. Slamming the criminal offence as unacceptable, Hampshire's Police and Crime Commissioner is urging victims to come forward. Tio Yi Shen has the story.
Hate crime, a criminal offence that targets people because of their beliefs, is a common crime in the UK. In the past 3 months alone, reports have more than doubled, police say, but people are too afraid to come forward. One victim speaking to WINOL last year knows this feeling well.
I was in a club in town with a guy, dancing around as you do in clubs, and there was this guy just sat there staring at me, so I just ignored him, and then he started pushing me, trying to start a fight. He left to go get a bouncer. Next thing I know, I'm outside. It's frustrating, really, not being able to go somewhere because of something that I am, something that I'm not going to change for anyone, and I'm being hated on for being myself.
The Commissioner says this crime is unacceptable and are urging victims to come forward.
And the strong message that we should put across society and victims of any age, whatever age they might be, is that hate crime is not acceptable.
This is a good grab again. Just look at your lines here. This is very much in the centre. There's a bit too much space here. Remember your rule of thirds? So it just needs to be tilted up a little bit.
We need to raise the awareness that it exists, and we need to raise the awareness that people can report it.
The Commissioner launches a campaign last week, which they hope will stamp out the crime. Tio Yi Shen, Winchester News Online.
I think some stats on this as well, Tior. I think you need to I think this is where a graphic actually works of number of hate crimes going up, going down, maybe in different areas, whatever it might be. I think you've just got to flesh out this story.
Winchester is one of the most expensive places to live in the country, but there's a large number of residents in the city who are earning less than the so-called living wage. Asil Sumra spoke to one of those trying to make ends meet.
People in Winchester will be counting their pennies as statistics have shown that more than 1 in 10 jobs are being paid below the living wage.
One in 10 jobs is being paid below the winning wage. Sorry, let's get our grammar right again.
People is Felix, who earns under £4 an hour as an apprentice.
And I know the fact that the next 5 years I'm not going to get to the point where I'm above the living wage, but I'm going to work full time and I'm not even going to get it.
What's that voice underneath? Don't know what that is. Sounds an issue.
Good. Wow, I'll have no chance to be able to afford to live in Winchester. It kind of makes me feel a bit rubbish that I'm going to have to move away. I'm going to have to move somewhere else that's obviously a lot cheaper because there's just no way.
Good sequence, good cutaways, all logical. That works well, but obviously concern, that's not broadcastable to have that sound underneath, and that should be checked before it goes to air.
These 20 years I'll never be able to afford to live in Winchester.
And it's not just residents who are worried.
And this does sound like you have recorded this in a box, in a shoebox or something.
Representative Dave Anderson has also expressed his concerns.
In a county such as Hampshire, that is an absolute...
You don't need to say, you've just introduced Dave Anderson, and this is what this is for in television. In radio, you do it. In television, it's a different technique. You don't have to say the person's name. You can say unions think XYZ, because then we have Dave Anderson and his, what we call them, Astons, supers, going up there. So you don't, in television, have to name check people.
Winchester. How is anyone, young people or anybody else, supposed to try and get on that?
One slight issue with this is you've interviewed him outside, then you've done your cutaways inside, and then you've come back to him outside. So really your cutaways should be outside, or your interviews should be inside.
Ladder for the first time, particularly in Winchester, and if you're not being paid the living wage, then you don't stand a hope in hell.
The new voluntary living wage rate will be announced the next month. Axel Summerer, Winchester News Online.
And you know, what I like about it is you've thought about the pictures and you have tried to create something, and you have got somebody who is on the living wage, minimum wage, and so there is an attempt, and the start of your package is good. There's good sound, there's good vision. You've thought about trying to create something there. And from that point of view, that's well done.
Over to sports with Matt Shepherd.
Now this this could be in the way this is uploaded. Very, very bright. The balance on this is horrible.
A new manager after Richard Hill's resignation at the end of September. Georgie Wingrove reports.
Eastleigh Football Club appointed Chris Todd as their new permanent manager last Thursday after an impressive stint as caretaker boss. We've heard of the special one and we've heard of the normal one, but how did the new manager describe himself?
I'm a happy one.
That's a really nice link into it, and it's a good question. So well done, Georgie, from that point of view. What I want to see at the beginning of the package is Chris Todd. Have we got no pictures? I mean, I know this is we've got issues with BT Sport and things like that because they've got the rights. But are there no pictures of this man even in training when we've been there? Or what we do is we get him to do something. We get him walking out the tunnel. We get him in his office. We get him walking to this dugout. You get him to do something so that we've got some pictures rather than horrible empty GVs of the Eastleigh Stadium.
Big guy, I'll be even more happier if we get results. And when I come to the club, I wanted to get this club in the Football League as a player. Since then, things have developed. I've ended up being the coach, the assistant manager, and of course now the manager. So nothing changes. You know, I still want to get this club into the Football League, which is what I set out to do when I first arrived here. So fingers crossed, I can take being a manager and take the club forward.
Eastleigh are currently 10th in the league after Todd's first game as official manager resulted in a 1-1 draw to Cheltenham Town. He will take charge of his team in front of a home crowd for the first time in their next match against Halifax Town on the 31st of October.
If the Spitfires win their game in hand, they could potentially fly themselves into the top 5, and the club certainly have a manager who looks like he's up for the challenge. Georgie Wingrove, Winchester News Online, Eastleigh.
Again, you've got some sound issues because there's the wind blowing there, Georgie. But what I'm really pleased about most is you've actually gone out and got this bloke. And after the effort that and the aggravation I had last week, the fact that you've gone out and done it is really important. There's still a lot to work on this package because it's a bit dry. He isn't doing anything. There are lots of boring shots of an empty stadium. Maybe you could have told us a little bit more about him. You could have done a graphic on his career and how well he has done in his games in charge, just to delve a bit deeper into what this package and what this person is all about. But the thing I'm most happy with is you've actually got him.
Winchester City faced Banbury United on Saturday, looking to get back to winning ways after defeat last time out. Our correspondent Rory Lemon reports.
A tough game looked
Right.
to await Winchester.
Do that one again. You're not happy with that link because there's a little cheeky smile at the end, obviously, and you probably laughed afterwards. Look, you can do as many takes as you like, and only one of them goes to air. Nobody else has to see them. I did, for an opening of a programme once, I was doing the Monte Carlo Rally, and I took 27 takes to get this opening link right. And it took me half an hour, but in the end, we got the right one. And nobody else sees the other 26, so get the right one.
Banbury were fighting the citizens to get into the playoff positions. But it was a dream start for the hosts. Midfielder Jamie Barron found the corner after some poor defending.
I appreciate the edit there. I know what you've done. You've left the sound long all the way through it, and then you have cut to the celebration. So not only is it shot right, but also you've edited it right. So well done.
And more sloppy passing allowed Barron to add a second. Warren Bentley's flick put the number 4 through to finish well.
And you've done the same thing there. You've got a tighter shot of Jamie Barron. Well done. Just make sure you don't say what you see. Try and add to the pictures.
Bentley then killed the game in the second half. He drove home that
You've done it again. You've all done it again. You're on the wrong side, aren't you? Look, he's shooting from right to left here. And on, where are we? Here. Okay.
Warren Bentley's flick.
Okay, sorry, that's the goal before, right?
Well.
Okay, we've done that. Then, look, next goal, we're going from left to right.
Killed the game in the second half.
Left to right, okay? Then, you got him going right to left. So, I didn't say it for a joke last week about crossing the line. Please listen to what I have to say. This camera should have been over the other side of the goal because then all your cameras are on the same side of the pitch. Here's camera 1. It's seen him going from left to right, and if you were here and not over here, then you still have it going left to right. So you're on the wrong side of this goal. You need to pick up your camera, walk there, and go over here.
The edge of the area to make it 3. He then saw City over the finish line, poking home a through ball to complete the route. 4-0 the final score. A great win for Winchester against strong opposition. Rory Lemon, Winchester News Online.
So Rory, I don't know if you shot that yourself, but you should have taken note of what I said last week, or even if it was the week before. Don't cross the line. So you need to be over the other side of the goal, the same side of the pitch as your camera 1 is.
Took on Bashley in a Red and Shaw Cup clash at the Testwood Stadium last night. Jack Sear reports.
I wonder whether this, because it's last night, should have been before that previous story.
League strugglers Bashley won a penalty early on after Matt Head was put.
I can't see a thing. How wide is that? I can't see a thing. And even if I do that and make it bigger, I'm still, look, I've got half a pitch in there. I can't see a thing.
Area. Will Lambert stepped up to send the ball in the bottom corner and give Bashley a shock early lead.
Is it really that dark there?
It became clear in the early stages that this would be quite an open game, and Tottenham soon got their equaliser.
Still too wide at this stage.
Tony Lee blasting the ball past the Bashley keeper.
At least this camera is the right side.
But it was Bashley who bounced back to score the third goal of the game, with Stags keeper Green unable to keep up this effort from Warren Squibb.
Too wide again.
The frustration of Stags boss Steve Hollick and the delight of one of the Bashley travelling fans.
Where is he? Where is he? Where's one of the...
This was turning out to be an impressive evening for new signing Tony Lee, who arrived from Eastleigh at the end of last week.
Still too wide.
His second goal and Tottenham's second equaliser after he headed past Rob Gillett to make it 2-2.
And that was all a bit too tight because the replay came in too quickly there.
Then came the game's turning point, with the referee having no choice but to send Bashley keeper Gillett off after he handled outside the area on the stroke of half-time. In the second half, the home side pushed on. Just 2 minutes in, Tottenham frontman Edwards smashed in after a dangerous cross. In the 53rd minute...
Again, don't say what you see, add to what the pictures are. I can see what's happening, so add to it. Well, actually, when I say I can see what's happening, I can't see what's happening because it's so wide.
Wide man Watts cutting in and finishing well past Bashley's struggling substitute keeper. Watts got a second goal just 4 minutes later and completed his hat-trick with this powerful effort past Bashley's helpless keeper from outside the box.
See, I can see effort outside the box. Add something to me. Give me news. Give me something different.
I caught up with manager Steve Hollick after the game to get his thoughts on the vital red card decision.
You don't need any of that intro. You've got that, and then you're going to go straight to him. Put your question on it if necessary. Say, what did you think of the red card? You don't need, I caught up with XYZ after this to get the manager's opinion. Blah, blah, blah. You don't. It's a waste of words. Just go straight to him.
It's always going to be said enough when the keeper's flying out of his box. And yeah, I think as a goalkeeper, I would have probably been expecting that as well. So yeah, I think so. I think it's fair call.
And finally...
Sorry? What's that? Fade to black? When do we ever fade to black? When have you ever seen on television a news report just fading to black? That's horrible. If you think you've got to come out of a package early, what you'll do is freeze it and get out of it quickly. But otherwise, you've got to find another out. We never just fade to black. Don't ever do that.
Season kicked off last week. Vicky Barkley brings you all the important results for Team Winchester.
Hello and welcome to our brand new section on WINOL Sports.
Are you wearing a microphone or is your microphone in your pocket?
Every week we'll be bringing you updates on all things campus. Last week saw the first match of the Buck season with a mix of great wins and losses. Great start to the season for men's rugby first as they continue their unbeaten streak with a 29-18 win against
Just be careful you don't let the words run away with you.
to sheer seconds. Newly promoted men's basketball fought a great battle in their new league against Bournemouth Seconds, but sadly a close loss 69-78.
There is so much information there, I don't know that I can read it, or if I've got to read it, I'm going to concentrate on what you're saying. We need to differentiate either colours or do it in capitals. What is us? Or hockey. It just is an awful lot of information there.
But the boys are determined to make their mark in their league next week.
And also, you are standing in front of this. I wonder if we can redo that.
Hockey played a great match against University of West of England, with a great 6-0 win and a great goal from a short corner in particular. That's all the results this week, but for now, here's footage from that hockey win last week.
I think we need to. That all needs to be a part of it, rather than here's our 6-0 win, and here's a bit of. And we don't need to do it with a great 6-0 win, which included a great short corner or a goal from a short corner. Then let it run. Don't have to have these feed-in lines.
Women's hockey are off to a phenomenal start to the season after a a win in their first Bucks game against University of West England.
Especially if you're going to voice it as well.
Our hard first half led to astonishing success with not one, not two, but 6 goals in total. How does that make the girls feel? Hopefully this is only the start for the hockey girls.
That's not, I mean, that's nice. I don't think you need those early shots because otherwise this goes on for a very long time. I think you could cut the early shots. Let's get on with the goals.
Okay, Winchester News Online.
That's all your sport.
Good picks. Let's not fade out again, please. No mixing to black.
Week, back to the studio.
And that is overexposed.
And just before we leave you, let's take a look.
Oh, and what was that?
What the features team have been up to this week. Ryan McAndrew has this.
In Winchester this week, celebration is in the air. University students are...
I like this shot because you've got the depth of field again. Blurred, sharp.
Their glad rags, robe and cap for the graduation ceremony. With a firm handshake from the new Chancellor Alan Titchmarsh and with a round of applause from their lecturers, the graduates were ready for their once-in-a-lifetime photo opportunity. And of course the day would not be complete without throwing of the graduation candle. Back to the Future is being celebrated across the world today as October the 21st, 2015 is the day that Doc Brown and Marty McFly famously travelled to in the second film. Now here is Ewan Lyle with his reviews of the franchise.
On the 21st of October, Marty...
I don't think you want to walk out every shot. I think you can stay put.
And Dr. Emmett Brown travelled in time to the year 2015. This date has been highly anticipated by fans of the series and even people who have never seen the Back to the Future films. And that day is today.
Much has been made of how close we are to the 2015 presented in Back to the Future. Right now, I wear just a one tie if I have to. I'm going to have to walk down this hill rather than hop on a hoverboard, and my shoelaces aren't going to tie themselves. And what of the House of the Future? Of the many features present in the McFly household, it's a mixed bag in terms of what has come to fruition.
Hey, Big M!
But Zemeckis and co did correctly predict the rise of fingerprint tech and offered a now timely commentary on blockbuster sequels, with Jaws 19 advertised in Hill Valley. And if you acknowledge the inclusions of virtual reality goggles, handheld tablets and smartwatches, it's hard not to label Back to the Future 2 as somewhat prophetic.
You have to use your hands? That's like a baby's toy.
So why not spend this October 21st watching one of cinema's classic trilogies? Whether it's 2015, 1955 or the Wild West, it's got a world to escape in for everyone.
Herbal teas and remedies. Our health editor Rebecca Herbert is finding out if they can actually prevent the dreaded common cold.
Nice! Bit of character. Like it. That's what I want, a bit more of that from you.
Flu season. We all dread it. I'm going to try out ways to prevent you getting ill this winter. Warm drinks are an easy way to boost your immune system. Add lemon, ginger and honey for their bacteria-banishing properties.
That's good presentation. That's just clever, nice, clean, fresh, good.
Cold viruses live on hard surfaces, then get transferred on.
Again, your sound it sounds like you've distorted. You've peaked here, so the sound levels are not good.
Hands. Make sure you wash them thoroughly with plenty of soap. Stress can lower your immune system. Give yourself 20 minutes a day to wind down and relax. Let's see if these 3 easy tips prevent you getting ill this winter.
Now,
it's quite a nice idea. It's very simplistic, but actually you've thought about it. Some decent shots in there. It's a good little feature.
So it's expert makeup tips that are going to give you the flawless look. Therese Norgard reveals how.
Don't walk out again. And this time you can tell you're overexposed here. Stay still.
Every girl wants to know
Or at least walk out the other side.
the makeup tips that will give them the flawless look. Here are some of the hacks. Reduce darkness under your eyes by applying a peach pink colored corrector. Be very gentle with your brushes when applying makeup. Little skin movement leads to the flawless look. Use a brush when applying mascara to bottom lashes and achieve a beautiful result.
Change the shot. Get in close. Let's see something.
By applying milk of magnesia before your foundation, you will have matte skin all day. Use a small angle brush when applying false lashes glue to your lashes. Just place the glue on your eyelid like you would apply an eyeliner and then apply the lashes without any glue on them.
Now I hope lots of those tips.
That was very ugly and very nasty to have a black hole and for it to finish there. And presumably all this has been stitched together. So what did happen there? But you need to change those shots in the in that last package. Just needs to be different sizes.
Andy, this week. Now we have Holly Broughton with her top looks from this week's graduation.
Floaty, patterned, structured or fitted dresses. This year's Winchester graduates had it all. This hot pink peplum dress is perfect for graduation. Adding a bit of colour makes you stand out from the crowd.
I really like this idea. I don't think we've done it before, and it's like our own red carpet on what people were wearing. I like it. I quite like actually doing some vox pops as if this was the red carpet.
Pattern dresses are a safer option, but be sure not to clash with the coloured hood. We love the sequin floral bag, and of course it's all about the shoes. This matching top and skirt is great if dress hunting got too much. Teamed with a pair of cream pointed heels to complete this outfit. We love this turquoise fitted dress. The added detail around the waistband transforms the ordinary formal dress. A simple white dress may seem boring, but check out this crisscross detail. We love the accessories too.
It's really good, and you picked lots of different things here. I'm liking this.
So that's graduation over for another day, but make
Another fade to black. Oh, we've got to stop this.
you head over to WINOL169 for your food, leisure and fashion fix.
Hey, he's walking out of shop again. Yeah, I think maybe you can do it on the last one. And at least you walked out the other side. But not every time.
From us here this week. But for more award-winning news, features and sports, make sure you head over to winol.co.uk. Goodbye.
Goodbye, but well done. There's a range that, I think you're just getting a bit more sophisticated about some of the things you do. So there are some misses definitely in this bulletin, but you're beginning to get a structure. I like the fact that you've got news in brief. You have got a news section. You've got a decent, strong opening package. I think the university one is slightly off kilter. I think Sally needs to be further up in that package. But there is a mix. There's more effort in this. This is a worthy bulletin at 2409. That's a big old bulletin. So the effort is there. A little bit more refinement and certainly some work on the sound, because the sound is pretty poor in lots of places actually this week, noticeably so. But otherwise, well done. There's improvement week in, week out.